Hello,
Hi.
everyone. We are live. Nandaji, if you can accept my request on Instagram also, so that we can be live on both the platforms. Oh, yes, she is there. So, hello to everyone, all our lovely audience, the ones on Instagram, the ones on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Educate to Elevate is back again with Thoughtful Thursdays, Season 2, and today is our episode number 23. We are slowly inching towards the finale of this season, and we thought that why not have these uh, endings, episodes where we are the stars of the episodes and we share with you certain burning issues and topics which are so important for the transformation of people, especially the young leaders, which Coach Nanda and I are on a mission to transform them into a magnet of success. So here we are with one very important topic today, because as we deal with the young leaders, often they come up with these issues and problems they have, be it related to their professional life or personal life, where they are very much focused on the external circumstances, the situation, that this is not happening correct, this is not what is in my favor, and due to which I have not been able to work on my self development or have not been able to do or fulfill the goals which are there. And as InnerMost Shift coaches, we help all these young leaders to understand that the problem is not outside, the problem lies within us. I was reading this beautiful quote where it was written that, we have 100 problems in our life, out of which 99 are self made. So here we are, and we realized that this was a common pattern which was seen in most of our clients who we take up one-on-one sessions, or even in the workshop when we have deep conversations with all our participants, that people are becoming a victim of self-created obstacles. And we thought that it's a very important topic that we should talk about. What do you feel, Nandaji?
Exactly. Being communication trainers, one of the things that we also talk about in our communication classes is that there is one barrier in communication, and that is the psychological barrier, where we become responsible for stopping our growth, our flourishing, our thriving, and all of that lies within us, and that's something we don't even realize. The challenges, or the so-called made-up challenges, or the blocks, are all within ourselves. So today it is a good opportunity and a good platform to talk us about some of them, you know. And I think it gets covered in a lot of sessions that we do, just that we are not aware that, it is particularly related to this particular aspect, that you know we have to kind of understand what is it that we are having within us that is stopping us to go ahead. I think it's
Absolutely.
a very beautiful subject to talk about, to make people aware that, guys, each of us can touch the skies and reach for the stars. If there's something stopping us, it's only we within ourselves. There is nothing external that is stopping us. So why don't you talk a little more about some things, and maybe I'll add on.
Yes, you're very right, Nandaji. And in fact, when we were thinking of this topic, the first thing that struck my mind was, I read this book written by Jack Canfield, Success Principles. And the very first chapter of that book is about, like, there are different principles of success that he talks about. And the very first principle that he talked about was taking 100% responsibility of your life, where he elaborates it by saying that, whatever has happened in your life, be it good, be it bad, you have to accept this fact that it has all happened because of you, not because of your parents, not because of that bully in the school, not because of the circumstances, the financial situations. No, it has been you. And the moment you take that responsibility, 100% responsibility, and stop making excuses for external things, you will feel so powerful and liberated, because then you have the leash of your life in your hand, because you are taking the 100% responsibility. So I
Absolutely.
feel that should be the first thing to understand, that once we take this responsibility, not only in the progress thing, but taking responsibility in whatever wrong is happening is also happening because of us. Because maybe we had a choice and we did not take the right decision. Maybe we did not raise our voice, or we did not speak up when it was needed. Maybe we did not do the amount of hard work which was required. Once we are 100% brutally honest to ourselves, and we start taking that responsibility, that look, this stumbling block is not because of XYZ person, it's because of me, and I am the one who is going to remove it. The power comes in our hand. So this was the first thing I felt that should be there, that self realization that my life is my responsibility. What would you like to add here, Nandaji?
That's so true, when you come to think of it, is that so very often nobody tells us that, you're good or you're not good, or you're looking good or you're not looking good, or you're good at something or not good at something. We create these own barriers within ourselves that I am not good enough. Who am I to do this? All of these things start from our own thought processes about any given situation, whether it is fear, whether it is, anything else that is stopping us. The first thing to become aware of is our thoughts. You know, when we usually
Absolutely.
work on getting leaders to, excellence, that's where we begin to ask them that what are the first thoughts that happen that either stop you or propel you to go in the direction you want. Yesterday, I was just observing this, and it was like, mentally we build up a framework that, like, it was about relating to helping somebody with wanting to lose weight. So it's like the first thoughts that come to the mind is, you think about that food, and then you dwell on the taste of the food in your mouth, and then it's like you mentally, visualize your hand reaching out for that particular product, and then the next thing is that it's going into your mouth. So there's so much of thought involved in everything that happens, whether it is, adopting wrong habits to, and, uh, you know creating an issue for your health, or it is something stopping you from going ahead to achieve what it is that you want to. So, like you rightly mentioned, everything begins from the self. I had heard this, you are responsible for everything. And I used to ponder over this, that what really you are responsible for everything means. And today, everything is falling into place when we are talking about whatever that happens, whatever that we do, whether we are exceptionally successful, or we fail, or we are not able to do, or we stop doing, or we get derailed. The most important aspect to understand is this, that everything is because of us. Why don't you share
Absolutely.
some of the reasons that make uh, go for this thing to happen to people?
True. Actually, Nandaji, this reason that you gave about the pattern of thoughts, the negative thoughts that happen, I think that is very important. And that really causes, or creates the biggest hindrance or obstacle. The kind of internal monologue that we have of ourselves, it's kind of, I should say, very untamed. And since it is very untamed, it results in this obstacles that we create for ourselves, all the self doubt that comes, all the motivation that goes away, happens because of our internal monologue and the kind of words actually we are using. I remember, um, 2 3 days back only, I mean, I am a person, I've recently joined gym. Now, this is the first time in my life that I've joined gym. I have absolutely no idea about the machines. I don't know the names. I have my trainer who helps me and guides me like a little kid. And I have very less confidence when I am in the gym. I feel that people might be judging me, and I'm not following the right posture. I I sometimes get too internally. I sometimes feel like, if I'm not able to complete a rep, I feel that I'm going to cry. It's like that. And one day she was telling me to do an exercise where on the bench I had to put my lower body and legs, support on that inclined thing. Look, I don't even know the name of the exercise. It's for the lower back, and you have to put your upper body like this and then come back. It's for the lower back. And the moment she showed me this, I said, ये तो मैं जिंदगी में कभी नहीं कर पाऊंगी. And the moment I said this, Nanda ji, I stopped myself and I was like, why did I say this? I mean, this sentence is like passing a judgment and giving this message to the universe कि मैं जिंदगी में कभी exercise नहीं कर पाऊंगी. And I got alarmed, literally. I said, no, 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 no. I said to her, नहीं, मैं try करूंगी, मैं कोशिश करूंगी. And that, when we were, preparing this topic, this incident came, so it hit me like anything, and I was like, whoa. Had I just, brood over that thought, that statement itself, I'm sure 1 month, 3 months, 1 year, 10 years in the gym, I would have never been able to do that particular kind of exercise.
Okay.
No matter, I would have, lifted 101 kg weights also, because the thought has been there, the message has gone to the universe, and that's the power of words. We keep telling that it to our clients as well. So that is something
You
I
know,
feel is one of the biggest reasons. Yes, Nandaji.
no, I was just adding to what you were saying that it's your words that make your world. So,
Yes.
had you given yourself this message, like you're rightly saying, you would never be able to do it because in your mind, that block has already been created. The mental block has been
True.
created, and then your body would not have worked. Was there anything else that you
Absolutely.
wanted to add? I just
No,
interrupted to
I
add this point.
No, this was one thing which and since then, any exercise which I feel is difficult for me, now I'm so conscious about the words I say, and I tell my brain also, no, no, koshish karo, you'll do it, you'll be able to do it, no matter if it's wrong once, twice, you'll learn it and you'll do it. Watch the video again, see it again, understand the posture and do it. So I feel that has actually got a remarkable change in me, because today I was able to push my limits in terms of the weights. I would take only the lowest weight and I would do happily the sets. And today, like, literally my hands were shivering, but I completed my reps, and I felt that it happened not only because I have been continuously doing the physical exercise or workout, but I had been doing that constant talking to myself as well, that no, I'll be able to do it, no, I'll be able to do it. So I think I have remove one of the biggest obstacles that I have had in my life, that I am a no workout person and I cannot just do it. So I feel that's a practical real life example for our audience to believe that how we create our obstacles and we how we can successfully remove it also. Nandaji, over to you.
I so agree with you. And where you begin this thing, your thoughts begin this thing and stops you from going ahead. It also brings in so many other things. If you tell yourself I can't do something or it's beyond me, I mean sometimes we
Yeah.
say it just for the fun of it. Oh, ye humse na ho pai, or I'm not going to be able to do this. And we don't realize that how this thing stops us from going ahead. And then comes in procrastination. And then you are just
Yes.
going on, not being able to do it. You're delaying it, delaying it, delaying it because somewhere internally you have lost the motivation. Have you
True.
ever thought about this, that sometimes we delay things or we don't do things because it is serving as something. We will feel कि कुछ नहीं करने से, or by not doing something, or like having a negative pattern, how can it serve us? But something gets served to us, which is the reason we remain in that particular stage or phase itself. Would you share something about that?
Yeah, in fact, Nandaji, this point is something where I tend to give a little bit of tough love to my clients also, because not in fact clients, to even my friends with whom I have like a friendly coaching conversation, where we're just interacting and I am helping them out indirectly as a coach. you know People kind of get addicted to their miserable state where they are in. I remember I had this client of mine who was into a toxic marriage, and she knew that it's a failed marriage. She was ready to come out of it. The only thing which stopped her and which tend to confuse her was because she was working, the husband was sitting at home. That was also one of the reasons why she wanted to come out of the marriage. But when she was out, the husband was taking care, was the babysitter for the kid. So just for this secondary gain, she continued being in that toxic marriage, abusive in-laws, seeing that her life, her mental health, everything is going bad because she feared. She had that comfort zone, because if she's going to live alone, she has to take care of the kid alone, she has to go for the job. So I feel, yes, I mean, people might get suddenly offended listening to the fact that, why would we like to be in this negative state? But somehow in the hearts of their heart, they have to be honest to themselves and understand there is some latent or hidden secondary gain that people have. Or maybe when they are, sad or in that situation, they're getting a lot of attention and care from their partner or from their family, which make them feel happy. And that is one secondary gain which creates an obstacle in the life and in the progress or coming out of that difficult situation. What do you have to say about it, Nandaji?
I completely agree. When I was studying psychology, also, one of the things while we were doing one of the subjects related to human behavior, it was these things. There were case studies of women who were living with addicted persons, whether they were alcoholics or, into some other kind of substance abuse. When being questioned as to why they didn't give up on their husband or why did they not move on, when they knew that the person is not taking the necessary precautions or is not doing what is required for them to come out of it. And why is it that the wife is not complaining, or why is it that she's not taking steps? So, one of the things that was shared was this, that when they are drinking or when they're under the influence of the substance abuse, they're exceptionally kind and they give us everything that we want, all the additional money, they take us shopping, they make us do things. So somehow people also try to fulfill their unfulfilled desires through,
Absolutely.
moments like this. So it brings us back to the topic about what is it that we do to ourselves to stop. One of the things as a business coach that I have seen, business leadership coach that I have seen with businessmen, is that entrepreneurs or even people who are into manufacturing, they are so quick to jump into the, rat race and say that, no, no, let's just launch the project. No, no, no more delays. We just want to go ahead. And then when they're halfway through, they suddenly realize that there was some huge flaw in their model which they did not even bother to check. And then they have to withdraw their product from the market or their service from the market. And then they end up getting totally, going through a loss and feeling that, oh, I'm a loser. But what contributed to this was they're not being thorough, they're not being duly, diligent about their product. They were too much in a hurry to just go ahead and launch it. What do you have to say for something like this that happens?
Yeah, it's actually a very wonderful point, Coach Nanda, that you have given. And if putting whatever you have said in another word, it's like, being very impatient in reaching towards their progress or in reaching the success. So, that is there that happens, there's always, I mean, one of our fellow coaches, Divya, she shared a very beautiful post on LinkedIn, Nanaji, if you've also gone through, where she talked about the 4 5 stages of success. And in between she said, first the universe gives you sudden success, and then you feel like, yeah, this is all aligning with what I want to do. and then there comes, it becomes little, but there is success, and then there is a complete plateau period which is there in the stage 3 or 4, where you do not get success at all or work at all, and that's the time where most of the people give up. But when you keep going through that, you have patience and you keep working on, then again comes that peak of success, and then it will keep going, 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 and then again there will be a plateau after a year or some particular time, and that's the cycle how the progress or the uh, cycle of life goes on. So this is something I feel, when we are in that plateau period, in terms of our personal development, in terms of learning a skill, or as business people calculating their profits and revenues, there if we become restless and impatient and give up on things or take hasty decisions, those are kind of those internal obstacles that we are creating on our own, which are going to sabotage us or our personal and professional life. So even the story of bamboo, you have shared it so beautifully in so many workshops of ours. Nandaji, I would like if you can share it also with our audience.
Yeah, there was this one incident where people are given to two children from the same house are given to plant, any one favorite plant. And one goes and plants a fern, and the other one goes and plants the bamboo. And is very, very upset when the bamboo is not growing, but the fern has spread all across and created like greenery all around. And later on, it so happens that the bamboo shoots, after a long time, suddenly starts shooting after a couple of years. And it grew by such leaps and bounds. All that while the roots of that plant was getting ready. And when the roots were ready, it just shot up. So whenever there is a preparatory period, which we spoke about, we have to give the due diligence to it. Only when you're fully prepared can you just go out. Because you take yourself out in a disorganized way, thinking that you'll stay ahead of the curve. Rest assured, you will come down much faster than your
True.
natural curve. And that is the reason, if what you from what you shared about the success aspect, that we all go immediate success, instant success, little less success, then it completely slows down, and then again you go up. So success also comes in a curve, learning also comes in a curve. There are not just peaks and valleys. It goes and it comes down, and then it again goes up and it again comes down. So we need to understand that to avoid long lapses of just remaining stagnant, we have to keep working and keep going ahead. Innumerable aspects can derail us, but let us know that success is only going to come when you pick yourself up and bring yourself back. we
Absolutely.
are this is going to keep happening, and we have to keep going ahead and make sure we are organized in our efforts. One of the reasons that we are responsible for not being successful, being confused, jumping in, is when we are disorganized, when we do not
Yes.
realize whether or not we're completely ready. So it is so important to make sure we are organized in everything, stepwise mentioning what we have to do and what we get to do. Simple things like, women who go to the market and buy stuff, and women who go with a shopping list and buy.
Yes.
Someone who just goes and buys and comes back may have missed out a thing or two, unless they have superb memories. But most times, Arey, I forgot about this. Oh, I missed out on getting this. But when you go with a shopping list, even if you're planning a little later with less time, still chances of success is a lot more when you're very organized in your efforts. What do you feel are some of the other causes that can get us completely, which are self-created, that hold us back from our success?
This example that you gave, Nandaji, of the shopping list and, being organized, gets me thinking of this another aspect that's kind of a self-created obstacle for us, is that we lack clarity for our goals.
True.
When I see a lot of youngsters who want to do many things, and I'm not against that. I am somebody, a typical Sagittarius, I would say, who wants to try everything and anything which is there in the world. That's fine. But then you need to understand what's your interest and what's your goal, and you need to have a clarity and a roadmap that you make for that. Because I keep interacting with a lot of youngsters, and I often hear, they talk to me and they say, I was talking to one of my known ones, and he was saying that, I asked him, what is your passion? Because he was not happy doing, he was doing multiple things at the same time and he was not happy. So I asked, what is it that you really like doing or enjoy doing? I saw you were very passionate about photography, but now I see when you're doing photography also, it seems like a tedious task for you. So he said, the I really don't know what I like. For me, it's more like I need to earn money, and when I start doing it, I just keep getting this constant feeling inside my brain, yeah, jaldi khatam ho kaam aur fir jaएं. So I said, if you do like that, you will never be a good photographer, because you have to love your work, you have to love that subject, you have to fall in love with the food, the flower, the person you're clicking. And this is a very vague goal. A lot of people commit this mistake when they're creating their goals or they're creating their vision, that we want to earn money. That's, even when we were taking our workshop on creating vision boards, you remember, this was something that we told our workshop audience, that just
True.
writing, that I want to earn money is a very wrong goal, and it's a very vague goal that the universe will never understand. So not having a clarity of your goals, and just, of course, sometimes we say you go with the flow, but that does not mean that you are just mindlessly going with the flow. There has to be a plan, there has to be a clarity, and you have to very categorically put it out in the universe that, look, this is what I want, and this is what I want to achieve in my life. And then your brain and your body also motivates you and pushes you in that direction, so that you are able to achieve what you want to. Isn't it right, Nanaji? What are your thoughts on this?
I completely agree on this aspect, and which is what if we try and even talk about our own profession of coaching.
Yes.
Earlier, if people got away by saying a life coach, I'm a life coach, and it was okay. As people started realizing that it's so important to have complete clarity and focused about what it is, that people started having specific niche, and they all the niches that they wanted to have, and then people started having the even micro niches. If you realize
Yes.
that now, if you're doing leadership, what aspect of leadership are you looking at? Is it confidence building? Is it some other aspect? Or what is it about the leadership? Team management, team building, what aspect of leadership are you working even in your coaching niche that you have selected for yourself? So it is
True.
becoming more and more important to be completely focused and have clarity of what you want to do. Wanting to do everything will not serve any purpose you know
True.
and when I was thinking about this subject, after we decided that we'll go about doing this particular topic after our discussion, I sat back and I was thinking about how this has affected my life. Couple of years ago, Uzma, I was just not ready to accept the technological changes that were happening. The world was going digital. I'm talking way before the COVID. Slowly, as technology was taking over, I kept saying, oh, that's not my cup of tea. I'm from old school. I love writing my work. I love seeing, like, I like to see what I have done and how I have done it. I cannot work on a digital platform. Technology is not for me, it's beyond me. And I started getting slowly pushed behind. This was the time when people started chatting on WhatsApp and everybody was getting connected. I didn't even know how to use a WhatsApp. And that day, one of my friends just pushed me into it, and she said, I want to see you get onto WhatsApp now. figure out what and how, and just get on. That started my journey of becoming, digitally savvy. Every
Nice.
step was a bit of a struggle, but I made sure, I learned to email. I made sure when the COVID situation came, it became a boon that I learned how to use Zoom, StreamYard, and so many other mediums, you know, and then to make our own posters, use Canva, and things like that, that
Yes.
it really has added. But when people, out of this blind stubbornness, that, oh, this is not my way, I will only work the way I am used to. Not only are we going into a comfort zone because of this blind stubbornness, but also what happens is that we tend to lose out. This has been a
Absolutely.
part of my life learning for me. So, which is why I'm sharing with a lot of people who have immense potential. Even now, if you're in your 50s, 50 plus, and if you are stopping yourself saying, oh, all this is not for us, we don't belong to this generation, we are losing out on a very, very important aspect. Maybe your children are abroad. You're not able to stay connected with them because you're not willing to learn the technology. Maybe you have so much potential because you have been an exceptionally successful businessman or a corporate head or whatever. But because you have not wanted to get into the technology, you are not allowing your fullest potential to be explored. Age is just a
True.
number. We can go on, doing new things in life for as long as we want, provided we keep up with keeping ourselves totally agile to all the new developments. What do you feel?
Absolutely. Yes, I totally agree about this thing, being stubborn that you need to change your circumstances is also among, I think, the top three self created obstacles, Nandaji. So many big corporations had a downfall. I mean, Kodak was, I mean, we knew only Kodak as, the reel of camera and picture. We knew this name. And when somebody came with the concept of digital camera, they were in denial. They were so stubborn that they made very cheap, cheaply priced reels, and they made so many companies and spread it. But as human beings, I remember our mentor Sat sir sharing this example, and he said this line, which was so true, that even if that reel costs 1 rupee and we have something that we are going to get for free, as human beings, we are going to take something which is for free. Because in digicams, you delete the pictures, you have the space again, you don't have to buy the reel again and again. But they were so stubborn and they did not realize. I mean, the denial was there. So they set up new factories, they did mass production, and their amount, money, hard work, everything went in vain. And the company also became bankrupt. And now we do not know anything about Kodak. So, yes, I think this is one of the biggest self created obstacles which is there. And I feel also, Nandaji, that, adding to this only is the part where, we are not open to exploring many possibilities is also one reason that maybe it's because of that innate fear of change or fear of failure, which kind of pushes and results in this kind of behavior. Because um, you know uh, I remember one of my clients was not ready to send the mail to a company only because she had this fear that she would not be selected. I said, how would you know unless you send the email? And she kept the mail was in the draft for 2 3 months, but she did not send it. So at times, the fear results in, or it kind of stops you from exploring different possibilities. And I pushed her to send that mail, and then she sent, and she got a call for the job. So I feel that part. And in our previous season, we also interviewed one of our guests, Miss Gauri Das, who is among the top HRs of India. And she talks about this in her TEDx speech. She talked about being a possibilitarian, which is about understanding the different possibilities and opportunities of life, recognizing them and making, the fullest out of it. So what do you feel about this part of the fear of not exploring or not being open to exploring different possibilities?
That is so true. It happens to so many people, and so often. People just seem to think that, oh, this is the only way forward. Time and again, people speak about think out of the box. Even neuro-linguistic pathways is a lot about thinking in a different way, understanding things from a different aspects, because this is one of the most important or crucial aspects where people get stuck, thinking that there is only one way forward.
Yeah.
One has to be a visionary and look for every possible ways. Kodak was one company, and there were so many others like Samsung and so many other companies also who have gone through similar, stuff where they have gone into a loss because they have not had the vision and the acceptance to look forward and to see what are the other possible things that can happen. How else
Absolutely,
can
yes.
they, you know, give the market what the market needs? Because however brilliant our product is or our services, it has a shelf life, whether we like to believe it or not. And once that shelf life is over, we have to look and see how else we can, bring up some other possibilities. Look at the cell phones and the way the cell phones have, developed over the last so
Yeah.
many years. Earlier, it was about talking, then messages got added, then WhatsApp got added. And eventually, when all the features were added, people were saying, what else can they add that is going to give people that edge? And then they started adding cameras and enhancing the cameras. So much so that what earlier people used to talk about, like a really professional camera, today people are able to take those kind of photographs even with an Apple phone. So this is the
Yes.
level to which people have, kind of remodeled and redeveloped and enhanced the features that they have given, because one has to be a visionary if one wants to stay ahead of the curve, if one wants to make sure that, their product or their service continues to get appreciated. Don't you feel that's so true of what is happening in the today's world?
I agree, Nandaji. And in fact, recently I saw that an entire movie was made and shot only on iPhone. So that shows that they actually thought of what all possibilities could be there, and they explored it to the maximum. And Nandaji, talking about all these things, one thing that comes to my mind as one of the reasons of the self-created obstacles is somehow we kind of have a very unrealistic or unreasonable definition of success also that we have. I don't say, and I'm not here to discourage anybody to dream big. I myself, I mean, if it could be a very ridiculous thing, but I have done it. I actually have this small miniature Lamborghini is collectible. That's actually the original one which I got from Auto Expo Delhi years back, and it had been kept with me for more than 10 years safely. I took it out, and now I have kept it in my keyring of the car. And I tell everybody I am manifesting this. I'll turn my jazz into a Lamborghini. So I mean, I'm not saying that you don't dream big, but I know it won't happen in 1 year. It will happen in a couple of 5 years or 7 years down the line when I would reach that position, and I would. But somehow, sometimes we make these very unrealistic, picture of success, and then when things are not going in that way or in that flow, we have so much of self doubt and negativity, and then we tend to kind of start giving up on the things as well, whatever effort we are trying to make, because we feel that nothing is happening. And I remember one of our fellow coaches saying this thing also, when we were taking this vision building workshop, that when you make your vision board and when you see it every day, it should excite you and energize you to do. that goal, to achieve that goal, rather than that it should give you stress. Oh my god, it's middle of the month and still I've not been able to achieve that 50,000 or 1 lakh target. So your success should be created in such a way that it gives you energy to move forward, rather than it gives you that pressure and stress that, oh my god, I need to do this and I've not done this. That tends to actually, I feel, seep out all the energy from us, and then it, I mean, I feel that, rather than moving forward or working hard, I mean, I myself experienced, I would rather let go of the work and feel I don't want to do it only. Have you ever experienced, or any of your clients have come, shared any similar experience, Nandaji?
Yes, it has happened to many people. And you know, what happens is also another thing is that very often people get so caught up in being perfect. They want to
Yes.
be perfect in every step. Now, I had this very dear friend, okay, and every time she set out on wanting to lose weight, she would first make sure that she had all the paraphernalia. She says, I just can't work if everything is not perfect. So she got herself the best running shoes, gym shoes. She got for herself the right kind of attire, her track pants and her proper whole track suit. Then she went ahead and she got for herself all kinds of dumbbells and everything that one would need, the mat in case she wanted to do, high intensity workouts. At the end of it all, she was just not, able to go ahead. She was so caught up in just wanting to be perfect that all that she did was collect the paraphernalia and then just
Yes.
feel good that everything is there and not go ahead into doing the actual thing that she needed to. So often, when we are caught up in just wanting to be perfect, we are perfecting it. I see people who want to start business. They will say, oh, but I don't have Instagram. Oh, but I don't have a website. Oh, I don't have this. I don't have that. And they will spend hours and, thousands or even lakhs of rupees in setting all this up. When actually, what is needed is just to start
Yes.
their business, to start what is needed, to start a Instagram post, to start a FB post. So slowly one can enhance it, improve it. That's at a later aspect. You cannot sit and want to make everything perfect and make it so perfect that you get exhausted in the process of perfecting it, that you lose sight of what was the reason that you actually started out on this journey, that you end
Absolutely.
up thinking that perfecting is the journey that you needed to do. Your vision was something else, but you got so caught up in just becoming perfect that you never thought that you should go ahead. They say, you choose either which way, you will come to know.
Nandaji, your screen has frozen on
Say,
StreamYard.
yeah.
If you could just repeat your point for our StreamYard users that you were saying.
Yeah, I said that what happens is that we get so caught up in wanting to be perfect that we lose sight of what was the real vision for which we started perfecting ourselves. And that
Absolutely.
process only exhausts us that we don't want to do anything else. They say just start something. You don't have to waste too much time in analyzing and thinking. Again, it's not, it needs to be a calculated one also, of course, but at least get started. Sooner or later, you will know whether you're right or you're wrong. And along the way, you can keep improvising yourself rather than sitting at the corner and just trying to perfect it and not get on to doing things actually. And when you actually
Yes.
start doing, you see the kind of pleasure it gives you. When you were talking about the vision board, what came to mind was another renowned coach, Neeta Bhushan, with whom, who we follow and we quite kind of appreciate her shares. She had recently shared that she manifested her trip to Turkey with her husband, going on the hot air balloon to celebrate her birthday. Now, when
Yeah,
we do exciting things, when we add exciting things on our vision board, something that gives us pleasure, like you said, a Lamborghini, for example, if that's what we want to manifest, if it's a trip we want to manifest, if it's something for the family we want to manifest, or something in our professional world, it gives us so much pleasure to go after it and make it happen. And it
right.
really works. It really works. So let us not get caught up in just trying to perfect ourselves. Let us start doing things in reality. What else would you
In
like to share?
Yes, Navadi. In fact, I feel our journey is also an example where, we were about to get into the rut of that, imposter syndrome or the perfectionism part, but then we corrected ourselves. I remember when we started conducting, the workshops, initially when our website was not ready. So we had to think of ways that how we'll get our people registered who are going to be the participants and all. And then we thought, rather than waiting and delaying the process, by the time our website is going to be made, let's create a Google form and connect it to our all the posters that we have, and people can register there, and from that we would send them messages and the payment and everything can be done. So had we kept waiting, we would have waited for 2 3 months more, and in that we conducted so many uh, workshops. And then it actually made us even better. By the time we had our website ready, and then we had a proper portal on which the registration of workshops can be done. And I also remember, Nandaji, you remember we took so long when we were sending out mails to the corporations about our initiative, Educate to Elevate, and we would like to help them during COVID times. And we got, tried making that perfect cover letter. And then finally we were like, why are we doing this and wasting our time? Let's just send it, and then our personality will tell how perfect we are, rather than that overly perfect, cover letter. And that, really just this point that you said about perfectionism or that imposter syndrome. And I felt that we have lived that journey and learned it our way also, rather than not delaying the thing just to make it perfect. We started doing it at bit time. We improved our posters, our way of conducting workshops, not waiting for the website. So yeah, I feel that really, I mean, Educate to Elevate journey is one example where we did not let our imposter syndrome become our obstacle, isn't
I
it,
complete
Nandaji?
I completely agree. The resilience and willpower that the two of us have shown. We keep talking about it more from the space of, guys, we've been there, we know what it is all about and how it feels. So let me share this aspect with you, that the two of us were writing a book, and with 100 other things that we were doing, for our business and for our the workshops we were taking, the other things that we were planning, we would sit and we would write our stories, and we would make a folder of it, and eventually when we finished, we send it to our editor, and the editor said that it'll have to get read like redone. I remember I was a teacher in the interior designing class, in teaching some college students, and one of the things that they had, every time they made a drawing, if it was not perfect, it was like they had to redo. And I would be coaching these students because they would get so frustrated, and that we had to do this, and it's like a really minute work, and they would feel so frustrated. That's the parallel I drew when our work was sent for redone. And I just felt, oh my God, could this not have been done halfway through? That now we have to change it completely on its head and start all over again. Guys, the point I'm trying to make is, often we finish doing something, we're waiting in anticipation for something, and then comes the time to redo it. Okay? Life and success is about constantly going, bouncing back, showing resilience, bouncing back stronger, doing some more stuff. Imagine, months of work just goes down because uh, it did not match with the thing that we want. We did not, enjoy it. But what we were made to understand is that you need to be focused in what you are trying to share with your audience. There has to
Absolutely.
be a particular writing style that needs to come out. And if the writing styles did not match what the kind of book we were planning, we had to start all over again. It is painful. It is it does make us feel, oh man, we have to start all over. But until and unless we are ready and agile to change our gears from wherever we are,
Yes,
success will always elude us. And
true.
we will only move forward when we are willing to accept every challenge that comes on and we go forward. There are ways and methods to make our life easy, but we want to go through the grind, which is what both Uzma and me have decided. And we've dug our heels in and said, it doesn't matter. At best, it will take us time, no. Let us enjoy the journey. Whether or not the book comes out is another aspect. That it will come out is beyond doubt. But I'm saying it's another aspect, another debate. But what counts at the moment is we are enjoying the journey. We are laughing over the mistakes we made. We are
Yes,
discussing and we are just enjoying the process. And guys, this is the way to keep bouncing back to take ourselves forward. What do you feel?
I absolutely agree with you, Nandaji. In fact, being a little bit light-hearted and uh, being able to forgive yourself is also very important. Yeah, we committed mistakes, so what? We have to be focused on the end result, that at the end of the day, the book that we are creating, for which we are very passionate, and the kind of message we want to give, and the kind of learning that we want the young leaders to have through that book, uh, it's worth all the pain once it's out and people are able to get the benefit out of it. And there I feel, when you said this thing, we are laughing on our mistakes. I think this is very important for people to understand, that rather than having that self sabotaging, behavior, that belittling yourself, being so negative, always scolding yourself should not be done. You should feel that, okay, I did this mistake. I am a human being and I can afford to commit the mistake. And it's okay. I'll try again and I'll do it, better again. And I'll do it better this time, because I know I have understood what is my mistake. I'm aware of that. And also, I feel, adding to this point, Nandaji, which I feel could be one of our concluding points here, is that people to understand that they are not alone. Most of the time people think that I have to deal with this alone, I'm on my journey alone. It's okay to ask for help if you are in trouble. Taking help of somebody when you are going through these self created obstacles, or when you are not getting that success that you want, or you are going through some internal emotional turmoil, or these negative mindset issues which are there, speaking up and taking help is very necessary. Understanding the kind of people who are around you, are they the people who are motivating you? If not, then surrounding yourself with the right kind of people, with the mindset, who are going to energize you and help you move forward. So I feel, lastly, thinking that I need to be the strongest, मुझे अपना बोझा खुद उठाना है, और मैं जिंदगी में अकेला ही चलूंगा और जाऊंगा, should not be there. Because I wrote this LinkedIn post also, Nandaji, if you remember, a lot of people replied to it and said that, yeah, this is very important. It was years back. One of my mentors was speaking in the class, and he was actually trying to say that uh, about you being on your own, which was a different aspect which he was trying to explain. And he said that when you walk alone, you walk faster. And one of the students said, but sir, when we walk together, we walk farther. And my mentor could just smile and not answer, because the student's point was also very valid. And it got me thinking, and I asked people for their opinion, and I feel that you may need some time to walk alone, also to walk faster. but then to work farther, you need a support also. So when you feel that you are losing that energy, that motivation, or there are some obstacles, or there is that heavy weight on your shoulders which you cannot remove on your own, like today also, I'm giving a lot of gym analogies these days, Nandaji, because it's a new kind of experience for me. So it was the first time I was trying bench press. See, today I know the name of the exercise also. And when I was taking the dumbbell up, so my hands were shaking. So the instructor put his two fingers to give a slight support, and it helped me complete my reps. So had I been, a person, no, 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 I have to do it on my own, I think I wouldn't have been able to do it, and would have injured or something. Those that slight, help or support of two fingers from the trainer helped me a lot in my sets, and that helped me that the second one I did on my own without the help, because I was able to understand what technique is to be used. So I feel that this is something which we should understand, that you're taking help of a coach, a friend, a therapist, whosoever you want to take that help, come forward, speak up. What do you feel about it, Nandaji?
I totally agree. And my concluding words for all of us here today is going to be that, guys, fear is always going to be there. Whether it's a president, a prime minister, a chief minister, a leader, a businessman, an industrialist, everybody goes through fear because there are days and times when we don't know what is going to happen. And yes, we do get engulfed, but with fear. But the way forward is just going ahead and doing, taking that calculated risk, taking that step forward and knowing that this is going to help you move forward. Nobody has all the answers. Nobody knows everything. And the minute you step forward, you will see there'll always be somebody to support you. Or even if you decide to, kind of discuss it with somebody and move forward, there is no harm in that. And let us all accept fear as being there as a guiding factor. That's the only job of fear in our lives. Otherwise, fear can sit in the back seat and we will drive our own life. So let us not worry that, oh, I get scared and I don't know whether it'll be right or wrong. It's all right to have fears. We have past experiences that creates fear into us, but that's not the way each time your life is going to unfold. Every time there are new circumstances, accept it and take the step forward without the fear, knowing that, okay, I'm giving it my best. And you will see that you will be able to conquer all your fears. And yes, there's always going to be support along the way. Whenever you're shaky, it's not just about picking up the dumbbells that your muscles start shivering as they're getting built. As you're going through untrodden paths, you may feel all shaky and jelly all over, but taking that path, know that there is support and help coming to you, and that is what is going to propel you to success. Wish you all the best, guys.
Thank you so much, Nanda ji, for this beautiful conclusion. One last line, that be aware of the potential that you have in yourself, and rather than, putting up barriers, create stepping stones for yourself so that you can walk up to it and reach, your dreams and fulfill them. So this is Rikosh Nanda and I signing off episode number 23 of Thoughtful Thursday. We'll see you next Thursday with another amazing topic. Till then, have a great weekend. Bye bye.
Unravel your huge potential. See you guys.